Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Formula Regional Group B, about to get us underway. After they went out second yesterday, they go out first today. My name is George Morgan, your commentator, here to take you through proceedings here for the second day of racing here in this championship. And what a play yesterday from Rafael Camara, back on the winner's step once again. And not for the first time this season at all. 5 wins now this campaign with 8 podiums to boot. And then factor in play from Rafael Camara. And obviously proceed and clamber onto that title. He's had didn't have the best of runs from Hungaroring through to the end of Mugello, but bouncing back here with a win at Paul Ricard is the best way to do it in his ongoing fight against the Finn, Tucker Tappinen, to decide who's going to crown or be crowned champion. Let's talk you through the drivers that are taking part in Group B here ahead of qualifying 2. Tucker Tappinen, the runner, well, the current P2 in the championship, sitting there with James Wharton, looking to improve as well and show his best form. Pedro Clero, another formidable foe. Evan Gilter, Enzo Dellini, the Red Bull Academy driver. Ugo Gachukwu, the McLaren Academy driver. A car's just gone off wide there in the distance. I think many of them just looking for clear track space, and we're hearing thuds of rain as well, guys, which is something that has come through the course of the day. Certainly through the course of the morning, you can just about see it as well, falling from the sky and just hitting the lens slightly as well. But here at this point, a challenge for the drivers at this very early stage of qualifying 2. They're all going to be in the same shoes where it comes to racing out on track. There is a green flags being waved, so no concerns heading through Sector 3. But back to the drivers in Group B. We do, of course, have Théophile Nile as well for Sansalok. Michael Belov returns again after a sensational performance yesterday for Trident, finishing second, just behind Rafael Camara, with Nikhil lining up as well with Valerio Rinicella, and Nandavid Biram Bhakti with Marta Garcia from Iron Dames, Roman Andriolo, Dorian Pin also back for Iron Dames here in this qualifying session, and Lena Bula and Yuja Gao are going to be taking to the circuit here for this initial point in qualifying. So let's see who can stack up here. At this point, Tappinen's got to respond, you feel. So now see what looks to be the Premier of James Wharton just coming together with one of our Tappinen. Just saw him in shot, just cruising down the Mistral Straight. Further back, we also have the 22 just waiting in the wings of Pedro Clero, who has been impressive also in recent times, one of the top flight rookies this season. Laid claim to his first podium back at Mugello overall in race 2. And hoping for more this time around. Ugo Gachukwu moves through the Mistral chicane. Both Iron Dames cars in tandem as well. Valerio Rinicella we just saw in shot, making his way around as well. So 10 minutes and 55 to take us through. We could talk about the top 3 from yesterday, obviously with Camara taking the win. We have, of course, Michael Belov in second. Brando Bador, another podium. That is 6 successive podiums for Brando Bador this season, all starting back at Zandvoort and then perusing through Hungaroring, where he would come second twice. He would come second twice again at Mugello, but broke the string of second places with a third place, and the rain has really started to hammer down now. It's getting more and more aggressive. So the drivers have got quite a bit to deal with here at this early stage of qualifying. I suppose one positive element is obviously many of the drivers, or the drivers that have gone out there, obviously we haven't seen any dry times. As Ugo Gachukwu spins. Many of the cars making it in the final sector. Gachukwu having a moment, coming through towards the pond corner. Less than ideal as he makes his way out and manages to rejoin the circuit. Obviously, no damage and no concerns really on part of anything cosmetically an issue for the car, so credit to him for correcting it. Let's take a look at the replay. This is Tucker Tappinen getting a little slick, as is Enzo Dellini. Ugo Gachukwu wasn't quite as fortunate as the 2 previous cars that made their way through pond corner, though we did see the slipping and sliding as they made their way through. Evan Gilter, though, purple in the first sector to get us underway. And the first times have come in, but not necessarily representative of what we could yet see at the end of the session. A 2:12.910 for Evan Gilter is the current top time, as Michael Belov has a little look down the inside of Lena Bula. Coming out to the Mistral chicane, obviously looking for some clear air and clear track space. Obviously, you can get immense benefits from a slipstream down the Mistral. Teeing you up for a run round scene as Belov now looks down the inside and moves through past Lena Bula. And we'll have some clean air to work with, but equally, Lena Bula will also have a little bit of a toe as well, as she now takes a more aggressive line coming through Bousset. Purple second sector for Tuukka Tappinen. Of course, conditions, I would imagine he would feel quite at home with. Obviously, after what we saw back at Hungaroring, we did have mixed conditions through the course of the weekend. Evan Gilter, though, still showing a lot of promise coming out of Sector 2. Personal best, as you'd expect, with a 37.683. And will no doubt look to advance his charge on top of the 2:12.910 that he already set, but Tuukka Tappinen still holding on to that purple second sector. No other driver has come close to it just yet. Fastest in the speed trap, Nikhil Bora. He sits 5th place, or 5th fastest. We now take a look again. Now, I think that might be Marta Garcia going off track there. It certainly is. Marta Garcia going off wide, as now Evan Gilter extends the gap up at the top as he crosses the line. 2:12 becomes a 2:11.238. Tuukka Tappinen down in second as Pedro Clero pops up to 3rd fastest with a 2:11.700. Valerio Rinicella up to 4th, and now Ugo Gachuku, recovering after the spin, moves up to 3rd. And with 7 minutes and 20, Enzo Dellini now pops up to the top. The Red Bull Academy driver, by the looks of it. Evan Gilter may have had his time deleted, but very quickly going to work as Tuukka Tappinen now takes the purple first sector. So it's the Red Bull Academy driver, Enzo Dellini, on top. And in control of this session by just over 2/10 with Tuukka Tappinen waiting in the wings. There he is now, currently sitting P2 in the championship and finding just over 0.8 of a second in the first sector, as well as going purple. Amassing a 33.139 coming out of Sector 1 against the 33.611 that was set by Enzo Dellini. Evan Gilter purple in the second sector. So we're now seeing more times coming home to roost. Tappinen steals it off Gilter again this time. Again showing why he is a championship contender. Thriving in these wet conditions, as we saw a car just moving out of the way, allowing Tappinen to continue through on his lap unperturbed. The Ferrari Academy driver who managed to seal the deal on 3 in a row between Hungaroring Race 1 and Mugello Race 1 alike. But has now found 1.3 in the middle sector as well, so start to really marshal a charge against Enzo Dellini up at the top. And no doubt this could considerably increase the gap to the cars behind. But still time left. Remember, 5 minutes and 45 to go. Here comes Tuukka Tappinen. The Finn now flies down through towards the line. Let's see where the time sit. Michael Belov takes P1 immediately. Evan Gilter now removed from that spot as well, because Tuukka Tappinen goes to the top with a 2:09.048. And that is 4.5 tenths faster than Michael Belov in second place. Gilter, the fastest rookie, ahead of Enzo Dellini. Dorian Pan going 5th fastest. Valerio Rinicella in 6th. With Ugo Gachuku down in 7th as well, still chasing that fast lap to go in tandem with the cars above him. Purple in the first sector again, though, for Evan Gilter, who's been impressive since joining this championship. We hark back to his early performances. A win back at Hockenheim in race 2 as Tappinen now steals the purple first sector once more. Of course, Tappinen, no stranger to championship glory. He is the reigning Formula Regional Middle Eastern champion of this year. Took it at the early point of this year as well. F4 UAE runner-up last campaign, and competed in Italian F4 and Euro 4. And prior to that, back in 2021, where his single-seater career commenced back in the Formula Academy Finland Championship. But Tappinen again finding more, very nearly 0.6 more in the middle sector. Does like the colour purple, And it's lighting up for him on the timing screen. The 209.048 that he set prior could yet be dropped again. But he has got a little bit of traffic, I think, with Lena Bühler just in front. As we watch them come through the final sector, coming through Garlaban corner, and just you can see the understeer just starting to creep in through the course of the wet weather, but definitely controlled understeer on part of Tucker Tappinen, just the car just sliding slightly to the right. Just see a twist of the wheel as well to find that grip. But no doubt there might be some time lost there. Evan Giltaire back to the top with a purple third sector. Tucker Tappinen just a little outside, 76 thousandths off from Michael Belov now, who goes fastest of everybody. 207 to the top. 207.803. So fine margins across the board. So Tappinen with a little bit of work to do. 76 thousandths off the top as Giltaire down in third. Ugo Chukwu finding fourth place alike, as we now take a look at Evan Giltaire. French F4 champion, of course, following in the footsteps of fellow teammate Alessandro Giusti. There's Michael Belov, who was absolutely phenomenal yesterday as well. Qualified brilliant and finished brilliant. Finished on the podium. Second step of the podium for Michael Belov, who's been part of this championship since 2021. And there's also found a personal improvement. Tappinen also improving, finding purple in the first sector. As they now fly down towards Scene Corner, Belov now showing purple, but for how much longer? Evan Giltaire also improving, but Tappinen goes purple. Now, we've got three cars all in this pole fight. Belov may hold the cards for now, but it's only by a slender margin, with 76,000 separating he and Tappinen. Giltaire in third. Just over 2 tenths, nearly 2.5 tenths down in third place, but that gap could come cascading downwards. Tappinen very nearly finding a whole second coming out of sector 2. And I tell you what, it'd be sensational to see what he can pull out of the bag in sector 3 alike. Michael Belov, as we watch the number 4 Trident coming in place in the stead of Roman Belinsky. Whilst he recovers through injury, Belov now lighting up the rear tyres and flies down the straight. Let's see where he can position himself. And that is going to be first fastest again, solidifying his position, but Tucker Tappinen is going to look to take it back. He does! Tucker Tappinen back to the top of the timing screen. Brilliant display at 206.757. 82 thousandths faster than Michael Belov. And then we take a look at Dorian Pan from the Iron Dames, just getting onto the curbs, getting a little bit of elevation, and cruising off onto the painted area as well. Just look how committed Tucker Tappinen really is. Top of the table at this point. Belov now down to third because Ugo Chukwu has gone second fastest. And just look at those gaps. It's 32 thousandths between Ugo Chukwu and Tappinen. So Ugo is not done yet. May have had that spin earlier on in the session, but it has not affected his mindset. Tappinen has gone purple once more in sector 1. The conditions are improving as the light from the sun starts beaming down upon the track. Track temperature is now up to 27.1, and air temperature now starts to climb back up after the rain we had this morning. It's now up to 23.8, and obviously that's going to provide a little bit of aid to those tyres that those drivers are donning around this Paul Ricard circuit. 9 thousandths was found by Tappinen in the first sector, but he lost it in the second. But a big sector 3 could make all the difference, especially if the track is drying, as now we see Tappinen coming through the Bousset. Checkered flag has come down here on Group B in qualifying 2. Personal improvements for Michael Belov. Ugo Chukwu lost a bit of time. The rear stepping out a little bit from Tappinen coming through the final sector. But coming through Delatour, you can just see he's really fighting this car at this point. Obviously very much aware that Belov's improving down in third place. Evan Giltaire also improved in the first sector. Dorian Pan, who's having a sensational qualifying session in 6th place as well. Evan Gilter goes to the top, takes the fastest lap with a 2:06.467. Can he respond? Belov now goes fastest. Here comes Tappinen and the very late stage. Can he achieve it? Can he take it? No, he can't. Michael Belov, fastest here in qualifying 2 Group B. Absolutely sensational. P2 yesterday at the end of the day, where it came to results in race 1. Now back again, Michael Belov, and on provisional pole position. More times coming through. Dorian Pan went 3rd fastest briefly, but Ugo Gachukwu takes 3rd place away from her as she now moves down to 4th. Evan Gilter in 5th. Nikhil Bora up to 6th. We've got Enzo Delini 7th. Lina Bula qualifying 8th fastest. Pedro Clero down there. Teofil Nile hops up into 8th place now, dropping Lina Bula down to 9th, Pedro Clero 10th, Marta Garcia in 11th. Wowee, incredible performance from Michael Belov, and that lap was sensational. Very nearly 6.5 tenths quicker than Tuka Tappinen come the end of Group B session. Ugo Gachukwu with a largely improved performance as well. Let's take you through the provisional results from that one. That was sensational. Michael Belov goes fastest for Trident. Tuka Tappinen in 2nd. Ugo Gachukwu in 3rd. Dorian Pan with a sensational qualifying performance to go 4th fastest for Iron Dames in this session. Nikhil Bora 5th. Enzo Delini in 6th. Teofil Nile in 7th place. And Lina Bula finishes 8th fastest. Pedro Clero in 9th. Evan Gilter down in 10th, even aside from the pace that he showed as well. Marta Garcia in 11th. James Wharton 12th. Valerio Rinicella in 13th. Nandavad Biram Bhakti in 14th. Yuja Gao in 15th place. Roman Andriolo qualifying 16th. Well, there we have it. That's Group B. And a sensational effort on part of Michael Belov. And no doubt he's going to be absolutely thrilled with that. A wonderful talent that has been part, as I said, of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine over so many years. But has come back to help the Trident team. And hasn't he just done that? Once more now, finding himself in podium proximity should it stay like this come the end of the race. But this could be a race win on part of Michael Belov, and a famous one at that too. Of course, competed in the FIA Formula 3 Championship in 2020. 2021, of course, competing in Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, right through now to the current day. So 3 years racing in this series. Is a champion in Formula Academy Finland. So very much sharing similar routes to Tuka Tappinen in many ways. SMPF 4 runner-up as well back in 2018. But now looking to set his sights on success here at Paul Ricard. And after finishing 2nd yesterday, you wouldn't bet against him. Seems to have come alive this weekend. And a big shout out as well to Dorian Pan. The sensational qualifying performance, the highest placed rookie in Group B in qualifying 2. As the cars now all come into the pits. Now it's down to Group A very shortly to try and up the ante, but the one benefit they will have is that the track will probably be a little drier should the rain have stopped. I'm just looking out there right now, and there's no rain reported on our radar right now, so as I'm looking at it, I think we could be in for a cleaner session. And it will give those drivers an opportunity, and potential opportunity here once again for Rafael Kamara, who went pole yesterday in the opening session. In contrasting conditions, it was searing heat across this circuit. Session will start at 10:43, that is confirmed, folks. So in the next couple of minutes, we will see Group A head out onto the track. It's sensational. Can Michael Belov do what Kamara did yesterday? If he is on pole position, take it all the way to the end of the race. I'm sure it'll be a race win much cherished, but first and foremost, we got Group A to talk about. And just looking at some of the names that we have got in this, like Group B, we've got some real stars of the future. Rafael Kamara representing Prema, the young Brazilian. It was tussled with the likes of Andrea Kimi. Antonelli partnered with him last season. This is his 3rd season in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. And he's got Brando Bador alongside, who we discussed having that six-time consecutive podium finish, finishing third in yesterday's race at Paul Ricard here in race 1. But race 2 comes up next, and he's still chasing that elusive first win of the season, which I'm sure will mean a lot as well to the Van Amersfoort team, who have had, you know, drivers in the past such as Kaz Havercourt, who now is racing in Porsche machinery. But welcome back. If you just joined us as well, folks, you're joining us now for qualifying 2 Group A. Of course, the time to beat at this point is a 2:05.130, set in place by Michael Belov, convincingly faster by over 0.6 of a second ahead of Tuukka Tappinen. But can anyone respond in kind? We'll wait and see. They're not going to be without chances. You wouldn't write Rafael Camara off at this stage. Obviously, he's going to look to try and up the ante, try and leverage the championship furthermore in his favour. And no time like the present on part of the Brazilian to achieve that. But first and foremost, he's got to get through to the end of the session and give his very, very best. And a little note as well, because Ivan Dominguez taking part in this session as we read through some of the names. Obviously, we read out about Rafael Camara, Brando Bador, Alessandro Giusti, the former French F4 champion from 2022, also features here at his home race, and a race weekend that is very special because this is where he took his maiden race win in Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. And would love to do it again, that's for sure, but it's a very tough grid, very competitive. Ivan Dominguez also in the session, as we discussed, winner of the Race Resilience Award this weekend after his incredible impact at Mugello, where he managed to move his way up the field. Of course, Pirelli, fantastic sponsors and partners of this championship, have clubbed together as part of the Race Resilience Award, and it was presented to Ivan Dominguez, the Portuguese, and he'll be looking for the more results, also with the Van Amersfoort team. As discussed, of course, we alluded to Brando Bador earlier on. Noah Stromstead featuring in the session for RPM, Zachary David for RAce GP, Enzo Peugeot for Santalok, Matteo De Parlo, his teammate, Ruiki Liu, obviously after watching Michael Belov do well in a Trident car, he'll be hoping to do well himself. Nico Lacorte also lines up for Trident, the Alpine Academy driver, and Kanato Lei, Giovanni Maschio, also from RPM, Edgar Pierre, his teammate, alike Huang Dat Sauer and Yaroslav Veselaho, Isaac Barashi and Alvaro Cho line up here in this Group A session. So let's watch as the cars get set ready for some flying runs. Obviously it takes a couple of laps for them to get the tyres warm, but the one great benefit is they won't have to worry about the droplets of rain that were falling from the sky at the very start of Group B session, as they now fly down through towards turn 1. Alessandro Giusti at the head of this field. He's got Ruiki Liu just in behind, as well as the number 6 of Huang Dat Sauer. There's Yaroslav Veselaho also out there competing for ART as they fly through the first sector. Giusti taking them round. Of course, Nico Lacorte scoring points yesterday too. There's quite a few movements in the top 10. So it was the first points that Lacorte has scored since race 2 at Hockenheimring at the very start of the season. And what's also important to note as well, we discussed Zachary David a little bit. He, of course, finished in 10th place, just behind Nico Lacorte. But that's the... What should I say? Not Zachary David, I do apologise. It was Ugo Gachuku who finished 10th fastest at the end of the race yesterday. But Zachary David will no doubt be looking to put his car back on to points contention. Finishing 6th at Mugello in race 2 last time. Wasn't too long ago. Also Pedro Clero, after coming 3rd and taking a first podium of the season, he'll be looking to add one more, no less, here at Paul Ricard. Didn't score any points yesterday, but be looking to right that wrong. It was quite quite a battle where two groups diversified and split off as the leaders progressed forward. There's Rafael Camara, the Brazilian championship leader, with an enlarged points gap to Tucker Tappinen as opposed to where it was coming into the weekend, as we also witnessed Brando Bador, the ever-consistent podium sitter in the last 6 accounts here in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. The big bold question is whether he can add his name to the top of the tree and challenge Michael Belov. But we will soon find out. The car's now once again just weaving down the straight, just getting some heat into those tyres. Zachary David, we just saw him in the distance as the cars rush through the first sector. There he is now. Cars all fighting over track position and track space as well, whilst also requiring a little bit of slipstream to find their very best down the Mistral. Ruiki Liu, we just saw in the Trident car, being pursued by this number 6 of Huang Dat Sauer as they fly through turn 7 and down this long straight. Paul Ricard, oh so flat. He can generate a lot of speed heading down this long Mistral section, and then in towards Scene, coming out of the chicane at the centre of the circuit, which will take you through turns 8 and 9. Already some cars having issues with track limits. A few times have been deleted already, but still very early days in the session. Purple first sector at the moment going to Ivan Dominguez. As I said, recipient of the new Resilience Award that came in at the very start of this campaign at Hockenheim. So great honour for Ivan Dominguez, who has been certainly a sensational figure coming into the early stages of his time in single-seater racing. There could be a lot more around the corner, only in his rookie campaign. Quite a few rookies in this campaign this season, quite a lot in this group as well. And we saw Dorian Pan in our previous group go fastest of them all in that previous session. He's got a car just going wide off track there, not quite sure. I think that was Zachary David, in fact, it was. Just running off wide onto the painted stripe area. It's been followed by Dominguez. He's got an RPM just behind, belonging to Noah Stromstead, representing the RPM team. Keith Donegan's outfit, who he runs it well. They really came to the forefront last season. Stromstead, of course, making a few sporadic appearances. Santiago Ramos, of course, drove for them last season, has since moved on into Formula 3 machinery. So now we watch Zachary David burst through towards turn 1 now. This is where we'll expect to see the times heat up. Ivan Dominguez currently fastest with a 2:07.981. Alessandro Giusti sitting in second place, just 2 seconds in behind, but has gone purple in this first sector. Such an integral weekend as far as Alessandro Giusti is concerned. The scene was set here where he would win his very first Formula Regional European Championship race, and he would love to take pole at a track that is oh so special to him. Nico Lacorte will be looking to do the same. He's currently third fastest, but we've got purple being taken by Zachary David, down in 6th place at the moment. So already the times are starting to swing, but no surprises to see the personal improvements coming into play. Giusti now takes the purple second sector as more cars start flying through out to the chicane in the middle of the Mistral. There's Zachary David, part of the RSGP contingent, that have had successes in the past, have come up against Prema time and time again. He'll be hoping he can strike his very own imposition on Prema this time. Of course, Camara in this session currently sat 10th on your timing screen, but the purple second sector still in the hands of Alessandro Giusti. Camara has a green first sector. It's a 32.992, approximately 5 thousandths slower than Noah Stromstead, just in front of him in 9th place. But Alessandro Giusti goes fastest immediately, a 2:03.338. So So that's the first time on the board that we were looking to find, and that is already well and beyond the fastest time that was set by Michael Belov. So Belov will not be on pole, as we now see more and more cars come through. Zachary David goes fastest with a 2:02.046. Again, the delta cascading downwards, and Kamara has gone purple in sector 2. Look at the build already on a fantastic race yesterday. Enzo Peugeot second fastest. Matteo De Palo, his teammate, joins him in third as well. Giusti relegated to fourth. Nico Lacorte down in fifth. But where is Rafael Kamara going to come out in all of this as well, showing that initial pace that was oh so strong, and still remains purple in that middle sector. It's all about that final sector as we watch Giusti plough on through. And Kamara still down in 15th. We haven't seen a lot of movement. Whether he made a mistake at all and is currently on a slow run, we'll wait and tell you. Oh yes, this is what happened. I was wondering what had happened to Kamara, but going wide, coming through Scene Corner, no doubt disrupting a very fast lap that could have put him to the top. Zachary David, though, on this new lap, it's just gone purple in the first sector. Giusti has got purple in the second. The track ever improving. The time is coming down. 1/10 of a second separates David and Peugeot. A bright spark here on hand for the Santalok Racing team. Brando Bador also third fastest. Canato Lay fourth. Giusti waiting in the wings as well. Purple in the second sector. Can he close this one out and take it to the top? The former French F4 champion now rushing down towards the line. The scene was set where he would take victory here last season. Can he go to the top here in this session as well? Can he blast past Giusti? Well, can he blast past and take the top spot? He keeps hold of it and improves the deficit to 6.5 tenths between he and Zachary David. Unbelievable from Alessandro Giusti. Brando Bador, though, is not done. Purple in the first sector in his own right. Green sectors for Enzo Peugeot. Ivan Dominguez goes third, now fourth fastest. Mashkio up to fifth. Noah Stromstead goes up to second. We got Brando Bador, who's looking to improve as well. He's green. Giusti's just gone purple again in sector 1. With 3 minutes to go, the lead is swinging around. Matteo De Palo is now on top. And Rafael Kamara incidentally had one of his times deleted after going wide at turn 11. Obviously alluding to that off-track venture that he had earlier on. So currently sits down in P17, which is not a place where Rafael Kamara likes to be. Canato Lay going second fastest ahead of Enzo Peugeot. As we now watch Brando Bador, who's gone purple in the first 2 sectors. Can he topple Matteo De Palo? Kamara now goes up into second. So there we are, another twist of the tail. As now we watch as across the line goes Brando Bador and does go fastest. So fantastic job by him. Alessandro Giusti, though, might make it a short-lived venture. The Williams Academy driver. French nationality, born and bred. And now pushing for further success here in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. First sector was brilliant, 32.398. Michael Belov's time of a 2:05, a distant memory as the conditions have warmed up here for Group A. As now Giusti goes across the line, and that is fastest for Alessandro Giusti. And he breaks into the 159s, a brilliant lap at 159.973 for Alessandro Giusti, places him beyond 3.5 tenths faster than Brando Bador. Absolutely fantastic on part of the young Frenchman. But Bador finding a personal improvement in sector 1, not quite enough for purple, but he is well within a chance to achieve something. Kamara also out on a lap, but it's a slow one. Matteo De Palo in third fastest place right now. He's got a little bit of time to find, doesn't manage to go any faster whatsoever. In fact, just taking a slow run through the final sector, but we'll expect the drivers just to take a bit of a breather before they then settle into another flying lap. Giusti, though, not wasting any time, looking to strengthen his hold on pole position. here in this session, as Brando Bador, who's found personal improvements in the first and second sector, a big third sector would mean the world to place his car to the front and give him a great chance of taking a first race win this season. Bador does take it. Brilliant from Brando Bador. First fastest for the Van Amersfoort driver. Sensational, but Giusti looking to respond in kind. He's purple in the first two sectors. He's ripped them away from Brando Bador. The driver from ART pursuing and looking once more again. Obviously last year we've relentlessly looked at the performances from last season here at Paul Ricard. As the checkered flag comes down, a timely late purple lap would be sensational for Giusti, who now sends it down towards the line. Kamara also finding improvements though on his very lap, but all eyes on Giusti at his home track as he goes fastest by over 1.5 tenths of a second above Brando Bador. Fantastic from Alessandro Giusti. The Frenchman hits the heights. Over 1.5 tenths found, as I said, against Brando Bador, with Matteo De Paolo in third still. But we still have more cars to cross the line. Can anyone answer to Giusti's challenge? A perfect 10 for number 10 here. So far from Giusti is now Brando Bador. Looks to make his way around the final sector as well. We've got eyes on him right now. He's not alone as more cars come across the checkered flag line. Zachary David losing out to third place as Enzo Peugeot moves up instead. Ivan Dominguez moves up to fourth fastest. Matteo De Paolo. Then Giovanni Maschio, seventh fastest. Rafael Kamara still out on a lap, and Brando Bador. There's Rafael Kamara in the distance. We're going to watch these two come up towards the line. Is Giusti under threat? Is his 1:59.586 enough? Let's wait and see. Here comes the sister Van Amersfoort car to Brando. Well, certainly Brando Bador looking to come up towards the line. Does take provisional pole. Kamara snatches it. Incredible. Late in the day. Rafael Kamara, the first two sectors may have been green, but they weren't purple, but he harboured purple in the third sector. Tremendous from the Brazilian Rafael Kamara. Extraordinary. Utterly extraordinary from Rafael Kamara. He went off earlier on, heading through turns 10 and 11, through Scene, but recovered brilliantly, and has now once again hit the heights. And that's a second consecutive pole position. Surely on hand for Rafael Kamara. A stunning effort on his part, and well-deserved too, given the fact that he dominated yesterday's race. And now back again, and could yet mimic exactly what he did back at Spa in round 2. Absolutely sensational. Rafael Kamara confirmed your pole sitter, a 1:59.245, enough to give the Prema driver top spot. Brando Bador second again for Van Amersfoort Racing, 59.350. Alessandro Giusti in third. Kanato Lay fourth. Zachary David in fifth. Ivan Dominguez sixth. Edgar Pierre seventh. Matteo De Paolo eighth. Giovanni Maschio ninth. Jaroslav Vasalaho in 10th, with Enzo Peugeot in 11th. Noah Stromstead 12th. Huang Dat Sauer in 13th. Nico Lacorte 14th. Alvaro Cho in 15th spot. Further down, we have Isaac Barashi down in 16th, with Ryuki Liu in 17th place. But what a performance for Rafael Kamara. Back to the top. The question is, folks, can he go and take back-to-back race wins here at Paul Ricard and for Prema? Who knows? But join us later on this afternoon where we go racing here at Le Castellet.